Hello, welcome to a new series, one that I call Tales of the SITBIT. SITBIT is a term that I came up with back in 1999. But to give background to the word or the term SITBIT, I need to tell a little story. So this might be long and rambling, but it might be entertaining for some of you. Back in the heyday of the internet, okay, where the boom started back in 1998, as I recall, I was working in high finance, but at the same time, I had dreams and aspiration to start a few startup, and I did started three startup. But the one I want to focus on is SITBIT. Now, what the heck is SITBIT? SITBIT. It's short abbreviation for See It, Buy It. Okay. Back in from mid 90s to the late 90s, even though I started the business that I eventually run for the next 20 plus years, I also, as I mentioned, started three other business focusing on .com, the internet. And one of them was SITBIT. And the idea basically came from a couple of situations. Back in those days, being in high finance, I dress fancy. Okay, I wear fancy clothes, fancy shoes, fancy ties. I shop at Saks Fifth, Nordstrom, and I subscribe to GQ magazine and a bunch of other high fashion magazines, and the girl that I dated, also had all, subscribed to all those fancy women fashion magazine as well. And one of the thing that annoys me so much was whenever I flip through an issue of GQ magazine, even though it's cool and nice to see all the fancy pictures of all the beautiful ties and watches and shoes and whatever, it's almost impossible or hard to find out where you can buy these items. Okay, it's not as if they say, okay, here's a tie, go to Saks Fifth. No, it's just a picture of the tie and maybe the name of the designer. Okay, it doesn't tell you what store the ties are sold, but it's very typical. I'm sure for those that are familiar with GQ magazine, you understand, and that's annoyed the crap out of me. And at the time, one of the most popular TV show was Friends, and the girl that I dated loved Friends. So did I, and she loved Rachel. And Rachel always wears some cute outfits, skirt or a nice blouse or tops or purses or shoes, you name it. And almost every episode, she would say to me, "Man, I wish I know where to buy that skirt. Damn, I wish I know where I can buy that purse, that shoes." So it's always something. Okay, so from situation like that, okay, I came up with the concept for SITBIT way ahead of its time, in my opinion. You gotta understand, RFID, barcode, scan code, that did not really exist yet in 1998. But I had a dream of a future where you can use code on magazine ads, okay, so that you can, if you see a tie, right next to the tie would be a little barcode or some kind of ID where you can type it in and you can purchase. Okay, this is the before scan and everything. So I had this vision where smartphone, back in those days, the fanciest phone you have was I believe I have a a Motorola, but it was not a smartphone yet. Smartphone was starting. Does everybody remember PDA? Okay, I had a PDA, like a handspring, you name it. But as far as the concept for TV, for those that are not aware, you know, everywhere from your nightly news to your TV shows to many things, even the Oscar, fashion designer donate their clothes to the people on TV to advertise. But really, does anybody sit there and watch the nightly news and see a nice tie on the anchor and then say, gee, let me wait until the end of the show to see where that tie, who made that tie, and where I can buy that? There is a little credit if you pay attention. So, you know, back then, I had a vision where if you see something, you can buy it, okay? And without going into lengthy detail, digital TV did not exist yet. But imagine, can you imagine what it is if you have a TV, a cable TV today, and when you hit the menu and the TV guy popped up and take up the bottom half of your screen? Imagine if there's a button that says shopping, okay? And you click, you can watch a TV show, and you click on the button shop, and your bottom half of your screen would come up, and it will show you all the items on the screen that you can buy instantly. Okay, back then it was so far ahead of its time. I actually call it the Amazon killer. Because, you know, back then Amazon was a new thing, right? Oh my God, you can buy something on the internet. I'm just like, forget it. That's so yesterday. I had this new concept, see it, buy it, you name it. I had the idea blown out to even like on posters, on things where, you know, it make advertising paid off. Ultimately, that was a concept, because how do you know how well your advertisement work? Okay, with my SITBIT concept, you know it pays off, whether your ad is on the wall in the airport. If someone use that code to buy something, you know that ad is working at the airport. So needless to say, it was tough sledding, because back in 1999 and 2000, people thought I was crazy. So that's where SITBIT came from, the name, see it, buy it. And for this comic book related video, yes, I am for the most part very, how should I say it, I'm a very patient buyer, a very patient collector. But there were situations where I was impulsive. I see it, I buy it, okay? Sometimes it's a bad idea, sometimes it's a good idea, but it's not something that happens often, okay? And for this series of videos, I will bring out some books that were good buys and some were not so good buy. Sometimes the good buy, okay, seem like, as always, the good impulse buy tend to be the one that I did substantial homework before, so that I know exactly what something is worth. So when I see it, it is a no-brainer, okay? So that's one of the things that I pride myself on understanding what something is worth, so that I don't impulse buy something and overpay for something, okay? Most of the time. But for example, I brought out this book, Mat 1. I have been looking at potentially entering the EC market for a long time. I may have announced it last November or October, but for sure I thought about it at least a few years before. So I have a very good idea of what a Mat 1 in a mid-grade should be. Okay, so when this book went on sales, I'm pretty sure if you ask the seller, they would say that it was literally seconds, okay, or maybe even less than a minute, that the book was listed and bang, I made my decision. I didn't even have to think twice. It was see it and buy it, and I am so happy that I got the book at the price that I expected to pay and get a good deal. So yes, so that's a good situation. Now we got to balance out the good with the bad, right? Here is a situation where my impatient equal foolish buy. Okay, I kept this book around all these years as a reminder of impulse. See it, buy it now is stupid when I stray from my core standard. Okay, I have for those that follow me, yes, I like well-centered book. Especially years ago, I want a well-centered book as well as high grade, right? So I was so frustrated in trying to find this book for so long, and when I finally see this copy, it was a SITBIT moment. Impulse buy, I bought it, and instantly, right after I received the book, I regret it. But I didn't want to. First, I didn't want to return it for any other BS reason, right? Because the book arrived in the condition that it arrived, and so I couldn't claim that I didn't want to BS into a reason to return it. Like, oh, there's a flaw in this book that I disagree with the grade, and no, it's my fault for being impatient and impulsive. So here is a bad SITBIT moment. I have brought this book out a few times to show it's Demon 1. It's poorly centered. Okay, it's cut off right here. It cut off the code. And like I said, it's poorly centered. And it's a fugly book in many ways, and I overpaid for it. Even by today's standard, I think if I sell it today, I probably maybe break even. But consider I bought this many years ago, so you can imagine how not so good of a decision that was. And that's it. That's the end for the first episode of the Tales of SITBIT. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.